Previous lecture we left our discussion at the expression for force. So what we have did in this? So we have considered a body which is moving with velocity v, and for this body what we have done is we have taken the momentum. What is momentum? Momentum is the product of mass and the velocity of the body. So for this moving object we have written the momentum. So next, let a force F acting on the body for time interval delta t changes velocity from v to v plus delta v. So if force acts on this body, then what will happen? The velocity of the body changes from v to v plus delta v. So for that, the delta p will be equals to m delta v. So next, rate of change of momentum is equals to delta p by delta t. So this is what? Rate of change of momentum. So rate of change of momentum will give us what? It gives us force. So that is what we are deriving here. So according to Newton's second law, rate of change of momentum is directly proportional to the force that is acting on the body. Next, k delta p divided by delta t is equals to f. Here k is the proportionality constant. So whenever you write an equation stating, so delta p by delta t is directly proportional to f. So if you remove this proportionality constant and write this in an equation form, then this proportionality will be replaced with a term. So here k is proportionality constant, and if delta t tends to 0, that means the time is tending to 0. So at that time what happens? Limit delta t tending to 0, delta p by delta t is equals to dp by dt. So very small change in momentum with respect to time. So this is equals to f k dp by dt. Next, for a body of mass m, so what you are considering? So here you are considering a body of mass m. So for that, dp by dt is equals to d by dt of m into v. So m, if you take this m to this side, so then you are differentiating velocity. So d by dt of v. So m d by dt of v. So we know that rate of change of velocity with respect to time will give us acceleration. Clear? So m into a is equals to f. So a here is the acceleration of the body. So f is equals to kma. So this is where we left our discussion yesterday. So this equation here, f is equals to kma, is used to define the unit of force. So unit of force is that force acting on a body of unit mass produces unit acceleration. So that is f is equals to 1 when mass of a body is 1 unit and acceleration of the body is 1 unit. So that means then we get, if we substitute m is equals to 1, a is equals to 1 and f is equals to 1, then what we get? K is equals to 1. So if I substitute this k is equals to 1 here, what I will get? F is equals to ma. So this is what? F is equals to ma, force equation. F is equals to, you can also write dp by dt, which is equals to ma. So if I write it here, so F is also equals to dp by dt, and this is equals to ma. So what is F here? F is force. So m is mass, a is acceleration. So this is again an important equation to understand. F is equals to ma. So here is the equation. So now next moving to the alternative method to find or to get F is equals to ma. So let us look for the alternative method. So this is one kind of derivation. So you can either follow this method or the next method which I am telling you. So the next method is also for the expression of force, but we are using alternative method to find it. So this is one method. So at the end we get F is equals to ma. Next, let us look for the alternative method. So here it is alternative method for expression of force. So to derive the same equation, let us consider a body of mass m moving along a straight line with the initial velocity u. So consider a body of mass m moving along a straight line with an initial velocity u. So what we have considered here, we have considered a body of mass m which is moving along a straight line with the initial velocity u. Initial velocity means at time t is equals to 0, what is the velocity of the body? So that is initial velocity, and after time t is equals to t, if we get, or if the velocity of the body is v, then we call it as a final velocity. So next, let force F act on the body in the direction of motion. So here you have a body of mass m which has got a initial velocity u, and there is a force which is acting on the body in the direction of motion. Next, this force changes the velocity to v in time t. So this force changes velocity to v in a time interval t. So next, so what we have a body of mass m which is moving with the initial velocity u, and there is a force which is acting on the body, and this force changes the velocity of the body from u to v. So this is the final velocity. So next, what is momentum? Momentum is product of mass and velocity. So let us write the initial momentum of the body, initial momentum of the body. So that let us denote with P1, which is equals to mu. Here u is what? Initial velocity. P is what? P1 is what? Initial momentum. Next, final momentum after t seconds. So here we have considered t, right? So after t seconds, final momentum will be what? P2 is equals to mv. So V here denotes what? Final velocity of the body. So we have found initial momentum and the final momentum of the body, that is P1 is equals to mu and P2 is equals to mv. Hope these two equations is clear to you. So here I have written u to denote that it is the initial velocity, and here we have written V to denote it as a final velocity. So we have got two momentum. So next, change in momentum will be what? P2 minus P1. So change in momentum. So change in momentum can be written as what? P2 minus P1. So here you have P2, here you have P1. So substitute the expressions. So P2 is mv minus mu. So now from this take m as common. What you get is v minus u. So this is what is the change in momentum. Next, now let us take the rate of change of momentum. So rate of change of momentum gives us what? That gives us force. So here we have the change of momentum. So if we need rate of change of momentum, then we have to divide it with time t. So rate of change of momentum. So this is equals to what? M v minus u. So this is change of momentum. So if you divide with t, then you get rate of change of momentum. Then this is equals to what? ma. Clear? So here a is what? V minus u by t. So a here is acceleration of the body, and a can be written as v minus u by t. So change in velocity with respect to time. So from Newton's second law, we know that the rate of change of momentum is directly proportional to the force F. So what is Newton's second law? So the rate of change of momentum is directly proportional to force F. So we can write, so that is ma is directly proportional to F. So F will be equals to kma. So let us call this as equation number 1. F is equals to kma. So what is k here? K is again a proportionality constant. So k is proportionality constant. So now we have to choose the unit of force in such a way that the value of this k should come as 1. So to do that, what we'll do, unit force is defined as that force which acting on a body of unit mass produces in it unit acceleration in its direction. So what we are doing here, just to get the value of k, we are defining the unit force. Unit force means the value of force should be 1 unit. So unit force is defined as that force which acting on a body of unit mass and produces in it unit acceleration. So if I write it in the equation form, Sf is equals to 1. And what is mass? Mass is also unit, so m is equals to 1. And k, a is what? A is equals to 1 unit. So it has been clearly said that for unit force we will have to have unit mass. So if we have unit mass and unit force, then it produces unit acceleration. So now substitute this 3 in equation 1. What was our equation 1? Equation 1 was F is equals to K into MA. So substitute all these 3 in this equation. F is 1, K we don't know, M is 1 and A is 1. So what will be left? K is equals to 1. So we got the value of K as 1. Substitute this value of K here. So what will you get? F is equals to 1 into MA. So that means F is equals to MA. So the final equation of force is F is equals to MA. So thus force is what? So force is the product of mass of the body and its acceleration of the body. So force is measured by the product of mass of the body and its acceleration produced by the force. So this is what the definition of force. Next, force is a vector quantity. So then we have to write an arrow mark on top of it. And A, we also know A is again a vector quantity. So force is vector quantity. Next, so in vector form, how do we write force? So F arrow mark is equals to M arrow mark. So that is in the vector form. So next, units of force. So Newton is defined as the SI unit of force. So SI unit of force is Newton, so which is denoted by capital N. So SI unit of force is what? Newton. So now let us define what is 1 Newton. So 1 Newton is defined as that force which when acts on a body of mass 1 kg. So if you observe here, we are not defining it as 1 unit. So we have telling it mass of the body is 1 kg and that produces in it an acceleration of 1 meters per second square. So the unit of acceleration is what? Meters per second square. So if the force when acts on the body of mass 1 kg and produces acceleration, then we get 1 Newton. So 1 Newton is equals to 1 kg into 1 meters per second square. Right? Clear? So 1 Newton is equals to what? So 1 Newton is defined as that force which when acts on the body of mass 1 kg produces in it an acceleration of 1 meters per second square. So that is 1 Newton. So next let us move on to the impulsive force and impulse of a force. So that is again a new concept to learn. So before that, I will share a links of few of videos which will give you the idea of inertia of rest, inertia of motion and inertia of direction. So please watch those videos and understand what is inertia. So now let us move to the impulsive force and the impulse of a force. So the next concept is impulsive force and impulse of force. The forces acting on the body for a short interval of time are called impulsive forces. So for a very short interval of time, so if there is a force which is acting on the body, so in such cases we call those forces as impulsive forces. The forces acting on the body for a short interval of time are called impulsive forces. Right. So the example for this impulsive forces would be kicking a football. So in this example, so you are giving a large force on a football for a very short period of time. So there the ball experiences the impulsive force. So the next example would be striking a cricket ball. So if you strike a cricket ball, there will be impulsive force. So striking a cricket ball with a bat. So next, the blow of a hammer on a nail. ಸೊ ಮಳೆ ಹೊಡಿತಿರಲ್ಲ, ಮಳೆ ಹೊಡೆದಾಗ ಸೊ ಆ ಮಳೆ ಮೇಲೆ ನೀವು ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಫೋರ್ಸ್ ಕೊಡ್ತೀರಿ ಫಾರ್ ಅ ವೆರಿ ಶಾರ್ಟ್ ಪೀರಿಯಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಟೈಮ್. ಸೊ ಅದು ನಿಮಗೆ ಏನು ಕೊಡ್ತದೆ? ಇಂಪಲ್ಸಿವ್ ಫೋರ್ಸ್. ಸೊ ಕಿಕ್ಕಿಂಗ್ ಎ ಫುಟ್ಬಾಲ್ ಇಸ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಸೇಮ್. ಸೊ ಫುಟ್ಬಾಲ್ ನೀವು ಒದ್ದಾಗ ಸೊ ಯು ವಿಲ್ ಗಿವ್ ಅ ಲಾರ್ಜ್ ಫೋರ್ಸ್ ಆನ್ ಅ ವೆರಿ ಶಾರ್ಟ್ ಪೀರಿಯಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಟೈಮ್. So these are the examples for impulsive force. So these are usually variable force beginning with 0 reaching to a maximum value in a very short duration of time and immediately ending 0. So if you take the example of football, so before kicking the football the force is 0. So at the instant of kicking the football the force will be maximum. After kicking a football the force will be minimum or it is equals to 0. So ಫುಟ್ಬಾಲ್ನ ಒದೆಯೋಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಮುಂಚೆ ಫೋರ್ಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ಸ್ ಟು 0. ಸೊ ಫುಟ್ಬಾಲ್ ಒದೆಯೋ ಮುಂದಾಗ ಅಟ್ ವೆರಿ ಸ್ಮಾಲ್ ಇಂಟರ್ವಲ್ ಆಫ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಫೋರ್ಸ್ ಏನಿರ್ತದೆ? ಮ್ಯಾಕ್ಸಿಮಮ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇರ್ತದೆ. ಸೊ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ಟರ್ ಕಿಕ್ಕಿಂಗ್ force will be what? It will be 0. So now what you can say here is these forces are variable forces. So the value of these forces vary with time. So in such cases magnitude of these forces cannot be measured. So for that what we'll do, we'll take the product of average force. So average force which is acting on the football and the time interval for which the force acts is measured. Since we cannot measure the direct magnitude of force, we will take the product of force and time. So the product of the average force and the time for which it acts on a body is called impulse of the force. So impulse of the force is what? So the product of average force and the time interval or time for which it acts on a body. So it is called as the impulse of the force. So since we cannot measure this force directly, or we cannot measure the magnitude of this force directly, so we are taking the product. Product means multiplication. So product of average force and time will give you impulse of the force. So hope you have understood the difference between this impulsive force. So impulsive force is different and impulse of the force is different. Clear? So next, so for this let us find the expression. So now with this definition you might be clear with the expression. What will be the expression? It will be just F into T. So it is product of force and time. So product of force and time will give you the impulse of force. So for that, let a force F act on a body of mass M for a very short interval of time T. So then impulse of the force will be what? Product of T and F. So let us write the impulse of the force. So impulse of force is equals to F multiplied by T. So Ft is the impulse of force. Now if U is the initial velocity and V is the final velocity and A is acceleration, then F can be written as what? F is equals to ma, so which we know. So A can be written as what? V minus U by T. So this is our F. So let us call this as equation number 1. So now we know that impulse of force is what? Impulse of force, which is equals to F into T. So here we have F, so here we have T. So let us multiply F and T. So F is what? M into V minus U by T. So this is F. So now multiply this F with T to get impulse of force. So T will get cancelled. What remains is F into V minus U. So multiply this M to both the terms. MV minus MU. So you got impulse of force as MV minus MU. So thus impulse of force is equals to change in momentum caused by the force. So this is final momentum, because here we have final velocity and here we have initial velocity. So for initial velocity we get initial momentum, for final velocity we get final momentum. So what we can write? Impulse of a force is equal to the change in momentum caused by the force. So this is impulse of a force. So its unit as well as dimensional formula is same as that of momentum. Clear? So this is what impulse of force. Hope you have understood the difference between impulsive force and impulse of force. The force acting on a body for a short interval of time is called impulsive force, and the product of average force and the time for which it acts on a body is known as impulse of the force.